amazing women covering all parts of the globe and intellectual property. And the goal here is really for them to share a little bit about their stories and to really inspire people who are thinking about intellectual property, also to help people that are already in this business and are trying to take their games to the next level. So with that, the first question I'm going to ask each of our women is, how did you enter the IP field, and why do you think you have been successful? And I'm going to start with Lisa Jorgensen.
Thanks very much, Scott, and thank you for inviting me to join everybody here today. It's a real pleasure to be here with all of you. For me to answer the question of how I entered the IP field, I'm going to start by saying it was a very circuitous route. It was not something that I ever actually intended to do. I had a science degree from St. Mary's College in South Bend, Indiana. I then went on to sell electrical products for Westinghouse to the nuclear power industry, of all things. But from there, I decided to go to law school, and I did that at night in Chicago at John Marshall. When I was in school, I actually didn't think that I was going to practice law. But when I got to my third of 4 years, I said I didn't want to look back and wish I'd tried. And I started at a small boutique firm in Dallas, Texas, where I was able to sink my teeth into some IP issues, mostly around things like trade secrets. But from there, I went, after only a couple of years, went in-house back to a corporation called ST Microelectronics, where I spent the next 25 years starting out writing patent applications, then doing some patent licensing, negotiations, some litigation support, and moved up to where I then managed the global worldwide IP group within ST Micro. There are a number of things that I felt were things that I needed to work on just in general, and also on myself, that helped me to be successful, that I think others may want to also think about as you're starting out in your careers, or maybe your mid-level career. The first is very obvious: hard work and dedication, just for yourself, but also for your organization. If you have hard work and you're really dedicated, you're going to learn your trade much quicker that way. But I think along with that comes the mindset to improve, or to want to improve. And that is improving yourself, improving your organization, and improving all of the work that your group in the current organization you're in does. For me, I had to learn to really be open to new ideas, not the not invented here syndrome, but really open to ideas as I was learning a new trade. I think that also helped me with my colleagues, my supervisees, and my supervisor, to say, let's build a richer environment for all of us to work in. And I think that those things really helped out. I think also, to be successful, at least before moving into management roles, is you have to learn to say no when you know that you can, or you may not, or you may believe that you cannot guarantee a high quality product, because I know it will be worse if you say yes to a project or a program and then cannot deliver in the end a very high quality product output. And that doesn't help actually you or your taking care of your family, if you have a family, and then just learning to really kind of take care of yourself. I think the other thing I really had a hard time with was standing up for myself. I'd been in a male-dominated world most of my career, and I did find it very hard at times to talk about my career, salary, the job growth, etc. And you need to find ways to stand up for yourself. And when I did that, as uncomfortable as it made me feel at times, it really did help my career. And I'll stop there. Thanks.
Thank you, Lisa. It's a great answer. I'm going to now go to Maria Fernanda. Please share your thoughts.
I entered the IP field in a completely non-planned manner. I was at the beginning of my career working at the Colombian Ministry of Trade. At that point in time, the vice minister was the IP negotiator and called me one afternoon and asked me to help me out with the current negotiations that he was handling. At that point in time was the free trade area of the Americas. He was my mentor, my teacher, and I was super happy of having him on my side. I have succeeded in the IP field because I dare. At that point in time, I decided to leave my comfort zone and start something new. I took the opportunity and decided to train myself and learn on my own. Later, I pursued and maintained a degree in intellectual property, and all my life I have been daring and accepting new responsibilities for which I was not totally prepared. That is crucial. My word here for you in the audience, although you don't know, and sometimes you think you are not capable of, just there. With your will, with your wish, and with hard dedication, you can achieve many things, although you are not an expert. And that happened to me with intellectual property.
Thank you, Mafi. Appreciate you sharing. All right, next up, Precious, please share your thoughts.
Thank you, Scott. It's amazing to sit around such beautiful women in the area of IP. I first came across IP in my 4th year in university at the Copperbelt University, and I asked myself, where has IP been all my life? Why is it that I'm only knowing about IP now? And from my very first lecture, I was fascinated at how ideas and how the intangible world is now creating products and services that are materialized into commercialized products and big brands and trademarks. And that just totally blew me away. And since then, I made it my personal mission to raise awareness across Zambia on what IP is, the power of IP. And I started up an NGO in 2019, which is IP Hub Zambia. I would say what has made me successful in the career of IP has been hard work, as Lisa has put it, continuous learning and putting myself out there. I am always looking out for the next WIPO courses that I can always advance myself, putting out myself there with so many events, keeping myself abreast in the IP world. And lastly, I've totally held close to my heart words by Maya Angelou. She says, you can only become truly accomplished at something you love. Don't make money your goal. Instead, pursue the things that you love doing and then do them so well so that people won't take their eyes off you. And that's what I've done. I do IP and I love doing IP.
Excellent. Very inspirational, Precious. Thanks you for sharing. Karen, your thoughts.
Thanks, Scott. Well, because I have been a lover of the arts and music and in the creative world, I had chosen intellectual property as a module in my law school selection in my final year, much like Precious, really. And when I came back to Malaysia and started practice, the government of Malaysia had just deposited its instrument of accession to the Berne Convention. That was 30 years ago. And Malaysia soon thereafter became a signatory of TRIPS. So there I was in such exciting times. I wanted to be in the center of this movement for change in the IP world. I got involved with the law reform and new legislative changes to cope with the requirements under TRIPS. And I have not looked back. It has been a wonderful journey, and IP has continued to evolve from the day I stepped into this amazing, ever-evolving, ever-changing world. So I hold true to 3 ingredients, which are my magic ingredients for why I think I could or may have been successful in what I've been doing in my career. And that is love, determination, and humility. I love what I do for a living, and I do believe that is the key to success, is that contentment, excitement, and passion that you find in your work, and embracing the challenges and rising to the occasion to give you that fulfillment. And this is what my work has brought me. Determination, basically not to let the obstacles and the challenges deny you the right to what is yours, which is a seat at every table you want to be at. And finally, humility, always remembering where you started, reminding yourself of the struggles and that journey that you took to be where you are, and to balance that and to create that environment around you to share that journey, to share those experiences with those around you, to uplift others, empower them. And that in itself is such a fulfillment for one's own true journey of success. Thanks, Scott.
Excellent. Thank you, Karen, for sharing, especially your ingredients. Very insightful. Suzanne, your thoughts.
Thanks, Scott, and it's so lovely to be here. I actually came to IP accidentally. I didn't even know such a thing existed, and I backed into it unintentionally. My background is in economics and finance, and I ended up going into management consulting, where I focused on helping companies make better business decisions. I ended up meeting a number of heads of R&D in different companies and industries around the world, whose CEOs had asked them how can they uncover the hidden value in their companies and show the market what that value is so it could be recognized. That led me to discovering intangibles, and working with these companies over a number of years, we ended up creating best practices around what is the management of intellectual property and other intangibles, and how do companies make money out of those. And so really my focus has been on using intellectual property as both a legal asset and a business asset. And so I've helped, I think, create a different view and context of intellectual property around the world. And that's been a very interesting and unique place to be, since I'm neither an attorney nor an inventor, and yet I'm right smack in the intellectual property world. I would say for me, trying to do something incredibly different than what had been done before, it really takes tenacity. You have to be a little fearless. I always seem to be doing things that scare me to death, and yet I keep trying to do them to the best of my ability. And I also think you have to believe that you have something to say. As Scott had mentioned earlier, I've written 3 books and countless number of articles. I'm a real believer in everyone providing their perspective and their thoughts. And the more you can tell that in stories and share that with people, the more meaningful and easier it is for people to learn. So, I hope we're all going to be doing that today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Suzanne. Again, I love this first question because it really positions, everybody's got a little different story, but there were some common themes. Find something you love. Don't do it for the money will follow. Determination. Each of these women are they're vested in everything they do, and they just never give up. And I think that's one of the things. Sometimes it may be hard, but don't ever give up. Embrace change. That's one of the things that's always going to happen in your life. There's always going to be change, but embrace it and learn from it. Be brave. There's going to be some times that you're scared. Don't be afraid. Be brave, and that's how these women have been successful. And be confident with your voice. And I will tell you, there'll be times when people act like they don't want to hear you, but you've got something to say, and don't let those people stop you.